Hi, Cathy Madeo here, back with another practice along video. This one all about forward folds. If you feel inflexible or tight, or your forward folds look something like this, where your legs are straight and your chest is far away from your thighs, I want you to check out my tutorial on why you should stop blaming your hamstrings. It's got some really important tips that will help you with this. So pause this video, go check that out. For today's practice, if you are feeling on the tighter side, I want you to make sure you have a blanket of some sort. And if you have a strap, go ahead and grab that. Let's get started. We'll get started on our backs, opening our hamstrings here. If you have your strap, I'd love for you to place it around the sole of your right foot. And to start, we'll keep our left leg bent. You'll take the strap in your right hand and just begin to kind of bend and straighten your right leg, bend and straighten, just kind of warming up your hamstring. And then go ahead and get your right leg straight. Begin to straighten your left leg here. If the left thigh pops off the mat or the leg is bent, I want you to lower this straight leg all as low as you need to go in order to get it straight and to keep this thigh down. And then just breathe here. So if you're feeling a little bit more open, you want to grab yogi toe lock or the outer edge of your foot. If you're not using your strap, you can do that. Another thing I like to do while we're stretching here, I take like a horseshoe shape with my hand. I get it right into my hip crease and I press down and out to the side there. It's called hip traction, and it'll help get your femur bone more in the hip socket so that you can stretch a little deeper. So remember, if you can't straighten your leg here at this 90-degree angle, I want you to lower it as much as you need to. Get this leg nice and straight. A couple more breaths here. Take the strap in your right hand. We'll bring the right leg all the way out to the right. Remember, the left leg, you don't want it to move. So it's not about your right foot hitting the floor. It's more about grounding this other leg down so your right leg is moving in the hip socket. We'll bring the right leg up, bend your knee, and switch. Strap in the sole of the left foot. Take a few bends and straightens, just firing up your hamstring here. We'll keep our legs straight, again, lowered as low as you need to. Just get your legs straight and your right thigh bone down. Breathing here, you can press your foot into the strap, strap into the foot. If you're not using the strap, you'll grab the outer edge of your foot or yogi toe lock. Relax your shoulders, pull your belly in, and breathe. So again, as we breathe, just reminding you, you can take that hip traction here. If your leg is not at a 90-degree angle, lower it as low as you need to. Flexibility really takes consistency. So warming up with something like this on a consistent basis, getting your muscles kind of primed and ready for us to move on is worth the time. Another breath. Bring your left leg up, release the strap. So often we don't think of our front core muscles needed in our forward folds, but in fact, the stronger we can get our front core, the more open our back body will become. So I want you to draw your chin into your chest, belly pulls to spine, reach your fingers towards your toes, and now lift your legs, hollow body shape. We're going to hold here, keep pressing the belly down. Try to keep your low back as flat as you can. And if that's not happening, you're just going to bend one leg there. And we're at about the halfway point. So if you're doing that, you'd switch legs. We're holding here 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, Really get those legs straight. 3, 2, 1, release. Hug your knees into your chest, and as you do that, really pull your belly button into your spine. So thighs to chest, rock around in your sacrum. We'll rock and roll and come into downward facing dog. Have your hands a little wider than shoulders distance, curl your toes under. So if you watch my other video, this is a bit of a forward fold, right? So if you are in a posterior tilt here, and your down dog looks like this, I want you to come up onto your tippy toes, tilt your pelvis way forward, and then just keep your knees bent. And over time, all of those muscles are going to start releasing and lengthening, and then that will start to unlock your hamstrings. Breathing here. I'm going to go ahead and straighten my legs, but notice my pelvis doesn't change. I'm still in that anterior tilt. Breathing here, we'll pedal our feet out, and as you do that, keep that anterior tilt. So play with straightening one leg. It's not important if the heel reaches the ground. We're really focusing on stretching and deepening our forward folds. Okay, downward facing dog. Begin to walk your hands back to your feet, and we'll take ragdoll. So you'll grab opposite elbow here. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your torso all the way to your thighs. Release your head. You can play with seeing if you can straighten your legs and at what point your chest comes away from your thighs when you do that. We're going to rock a little bit forward and back, and I really want you to focus on using your front core muscles. Draw your belly button up into your spine, and we'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep using those muscles. Pull your torso in. Perhaps bring your hands behind your calves even, and use a little bit of your arms here to help facilitate a deeper stretch. Now from here, we'll roll up one vertebra at a time. Keep your belly pulling in. And stand up nice and tall. Inhale, arms can sweep up. On your exhale, you're going to softly bend your knees if you need to get that anterior tilt. We'll walk our hands back out to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up. On your exhale, place your right foot, drop your back knee, and we'll come into runner's stretch. So you'll ground your hands down and straighten your front leg. Imagine you're dragging your right heel back towards your hip. So we're stretching the hamstring and the calf when our foot is flexed. We're stretching the calf, and it's still a forward fold here, right? So you can see that my spine is flexing here. So same principles, anterior tilt, front core engagement. Bend your front leg, step it back, downward facing dog. We'll switch sides, left leg up. On your exhale, place your foot, back knee drops. We'll come into our half splits or runner's stretch. You can inhale, half lift. This is a nice thing to move your sit bones back when you do that. Sternum forward, left foot is flexed, and then fold. So depending on where you are, might be more up here. You might even want blocks underneath your hands. Whatever modifications you need to get this leg straight in this position. And even if you need to bend the knee a little bit to get your pelvis forward. A couple more breaths. Good. We'll step back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, mountain pose. We'll go wide on our mat for wide leg forward fold. So now we're getting into more of the medial hamstrings, the hamstrings that are closer to the midline here as we widen our legs out. But the same thing, it's a forward fold. So the pelvis would tilt forward and you're coming down with as long of a spine as you can, all the way down. Now, at a certain point, your upper back will flex. The spine is in flexion here when we forward fold. So again, if you need blocks underneath your hands, or maybe you're up on your fingertips, or maybe you need to even bend your knees a little bit, you can do that here. So my forward folds really changed when I started using my core in them, and I focused less on feeling so inflexible. And I thought, well, I have a pretty strong core. Maybe I should use those muscles. And that was a game changer. So keep pulling your belly button into your spine, folding here. Breathe. The more you engage your quadricep muscles, the more it sends signals to the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, to stretch. Another couple breaths. And we'll inhale. Halfway up, bring your hands to your hips, and we'll come all the way up to stand with a flat back. Just heel toe our feet together and come into a couple seated postures where we can explore some more forward folding. So again, if your pelvis is in this posterior tilt and you're folding like this, I want you to sit up on a blanket and you grab your strap. This helps tilt the pelvis forward so that when you fold, your pelvis is in that healthy position to unlock your hamstrings. So just make sure you're as far back so that you're on the front of your sit bones. So your seat's behind you, you're on the front of your sit bones. And take your hands to your pelvis, tilt your pelvis forward. So if your knees bend when you do that, just let them bend. And again, think of using your front core muscles here, drawing them in towards the spine and fold. This might be a good place for you to use a strap. Maybe your forward fold is here, or even here. It's all good. We're making sure this pelvis is tilted forward, low spine is drawing in, so that we're releasing all the muscles in the back line of the body. And we'll walk the hands on up. Bend your left knee, let your left knee go out to the side. Take the inside of your foot, place it to the inside of the right leg, and then square off your pelvis so it's straight across on your mat. Use your strap here if you like. We're coming into another forward fold, so we'll draw that pelvis forward. You can reach your arms up. Really work on using your core muscles here as you fold. Breathing, and again, just showing the modification. Maybe you have your strap here. You're going to pull your chest forward, sit bones back. You can keep engaging your right quadricep muscle and think of pressing your right thigh bone down, really lengthening from the low spine. Inhale, begin to lift, walk your hands back, and we'll switch sides. Straighten your left leg, right knee bends, let your right leg go out to the side, sit bones behind you, pelvis straight across on your mat. Use the strap or not, turn your chest towards your straight leg, and then hinge through your hip joint. Spine is staying as long as possible. You can press the sole of your foot into your strap or press the sole of your foot into your hands into your strap, creating a little bit of tension there. Couple more breaths. Just be where you are. Let the muscles release by positioning your body, your bones, in the optimal place for that to happen. Walk your hands up and turn your right knee in. Shake out your legs. You can windshield wiper your legs side to side. We'll make our way onto our backs and just counter our class here today with a twist. Bring your knees over to the right. Take a big sweep of your left arm. You can have your right hand to the outside of the left, and this will release your low back. Bring the knees up and just switch. So allow your left knees to go over to the left. Bring the knees into the chest. You can rock and roll up to your seat. I hope this practice along video gave you some tips for your forward folding while practicing some of the more common forward folds in our yoga practice. If you enjoyed it, let me know by giving me a like or writing me a comment below. And if you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe. Namaste.